Welcome to the Empowered Podcast with Deanna Merlino, an all-encompassing personal development show where I will be sharing with you just how to transform yourself into the best version of you, both inside and out. From wellness, entrepreneurship, spirituality, and manifestation, I'll be showing you exactly how to live your best life. I will be keeping it as real and raw as it gets. So get ready to peel back the layers and really transform yourself under the surface. Because nothing is better than finding your purpose and living this life as your true, authentic self. Welcome back, Empowered fam. So I hope today's recording goes well. This is my first time recording without my podcast company being the ones in charge of recording. Trying something new today, still with the same company, but trying something a little different. So wish me luck. I am not the most tech savvy, but anyhow, I'm so excited to be back with you guys because I feel like I haven't been able to chat with you in a while. You guys won't notice that because I always have my episodes come out on Monday, but for me, I haven't recorded in a little bit. So I'm happy to be here with you guys. And today we are going to follow up on last week's episode. So last week's episode, we talked about some investing that Brittany and I did for our retreat and just making the retreats, getting them improved and such. And so some really exciting things came to fruition from taking that course, which is so exciting because I say it all the time. I preach it that you need to invest in a coach. You need to invest in yourself. You need to invest in your future. And it paid off for us immediately. So one thing that we had learned in this retreat training was that one way that we could get help with our retreats as far as getting them out there, getting them booked, getting them packed is to look for companies who are interested in investing as sponsors, or if they're interested in purchasing spots for scholarships. And at the time when I heard that, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't really know any businesses that would be interested in doing that. So I kind of skipped over that section. And then the funny thing is that not more than a couple days later, which is how my intuition works, when something's supposed to hit, it's going to hit. And it just clicked into my head. And I'm like, okay, you need to reach out to Liberty Cab, who the owner, I have a really good relationship with the owner, and he was someone I worked for a while back now. And I've talked about him. I haven't named any names on the podcast, but I've talked about the fact that I was really grateful about having this boss because he is what let me soar. Like, he is the one. I had so much responsibility, but I was allowed to do it on my own terms in my own way. And it allowed me to realize my strengths and to grow confidence in myself and to learn what I was good at, and that I had the ability to be my own boss because I was just really good at juggling all the things and getting shit done. Like, if something needed to get done, he knew he could count on me. And so when I left that company, it was very bittersweet. I knew that I wanted something more for myself, but I also had a hard time leaving, knowing the connection that I had with that company and what they had done for me. So anyhow, it popped into my head and I reached out and I was like, I know you haven't heard from me in a while, but I have something that I think you might be interested. And so the reason this really resonated with me is because before I left that company, the owner had mentioned that something that he was super passionate about was helping abused women and battered women, especially because he knew my history. And he looked into very seriously starting some sort of not-for-profit. And he was actually going to purchase like a massive apartment complex, and he wanted to turn it into short-term housing for women who needed to get out of a situations immediately. Like, we went so far as to meet with his legal team. I was going to be on the board. There was all sorts of stuff that were being set up, and I was super excited about it, obviously. And it ended up falling through at some point on the seller's end. So whoever he was going to buy the apartment complex from, it just fell through. And so it really popped into my head that he might be interested in something like this. And mind you, I had no idea if he was going to say yes. I had no idea if he was going to say fly a kite. I had no idea if he would be interested because this was years ago. But I decided to put on my big girl panties and ask anyhow. And I'm so grateful and glad that I did because it turned out so amazing. And so as soon as I got there, it was literally like, things hadn't changed, which felt amazing because we really did have such a close connection. I looked at him like a grandpa, essentially. So it was really great to reconnect, and we took off on the same foot that we left on. And it was really cool because one of the things that he said was, anytime you ever have anything, always come to me because I will do whatever I can to make it work. And so that felt really amazing because literally it's been years and that connection was still there. Even though he lost a huge asset to his company, we were still able to be civil and have no bad blood. And that's so important, to never burn a bridge. That's like a huge key lesson for today, is never burn bridges in any way that you can when it comes to leaving companies, because you never know what the future is going to hold and you don't want to leave a bad taste in anyone's mouth. And so what he immediately wanted to do, since I left, he purchased a couple radio stations. And I kind of knew this, but didn't really know, like it didn't register when I was leaving. And anyhow, immediately he was like, we're going to run ads for you on air immediately. Like, let's get your retreats full. We're putting our head together for some really awesome things moving forward in the future. So I'm super excited about that. And it was just really funny because literally he's like, all right, come on, we're going on air now. And I was like, what? And even though I'm used to podcasting and talking and leading classes and all this stuff, of course, I was literally like profusely sweating. Like I was internally panicking. And he was laughing because like that's his MO. Like truly, I give him so much credit. And I said this to him, that I'm so glad that he did stuff like that to me all the time, because that is one of the things that led to me being successful in the field that I am now. Like he is the king of like, throw you into the fire, good luck, run, you've got this. And like, you just have to figure it out. And honestly, I crushed it because I have built that confidence within myself to trust that I know what to talk about, what to say, and who I am. And it turned out to be really amazing. So there are so many amazing things that are coming from the fact that we invested in ourselves, because who knows who we're going to touch? Who knows how big this is going to go because of that connection was made. And so my lesson for you today, other than don't burn bridges, is to, where can you trust yourself? Where is something that you can trust your judgment? Where is something that you haven't done as yet, but you know you have the capability to do that? Really sit on that and think about that, and then go do it. Like, I cannot stress enough how important it is to do things, even if you're scared. Do things, even if you're terrified. If you know it's for your greatest good, go do it. And again, if you don't know what this looks like for you, maybe you want more, maybe you know that there's something else for you, but you're not quite sure how that looks, how to make it happen, what your skill is, I would love to do some hot seat coaching with you and really get to the bottom of what's blocking you, what your strengths are, what the next steps are that you need to take in your business. Like, let's get to the bottom and root of what is holding you back so you can excel at the things that you are so powerful at. Let someone else help you see through your weak spots that you're not able to get past. Take those blinders off and get to the part of you that is in your genius. And the only other thing that I'm going to say is, or as far as like a lesson, is going to be trust your gut. Where is something that your intuition has told you, hey, you need to pursue this, and you've ignored it, or you've been fearful, so you swallowed it, or a conversation that needed to be had, but it wasn't going to be an uncomfortable one, so you haven't done it. Look at those things, because if there's something coming up for your intuition, it is there for a reason. Sometimes you have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable, and just trust that you're being led in a certain direction because you're meant to be there. Even if it looks like, how could this possibly pan out? Or how could this possibly like be coming up for me? Or you might think from your logic brain that like, this isn't going to work out how I want it to. Just do it. Just look at it. Just do some investigation to what that might look like, and trust that it's going to pan out just exactly how it's supposed to. And it's probably it will turn out better than you could imagine, because remember, we're not supposed to know how something's going to work out. It's not our job to know how. We just have to trust our intuition, trust the universe, trust that God is guiding us and leaving us the proper breadcrumbs to get to that next phase for ourselves. So again, do it scared. You don't need to know how. Get a coach and don't burn any bridges. All right, y'all. I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing week. I will see you next Monday. And if you love this episode, make sure you share it, make sure you tag it, make sure you send it to a friend. And if you haven't, please take a moment to leave a 5-star and written review on Apple iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to this. It is going to be so helpful for me in getting this out here and growing this platform to get other empowered listeners to help change their lives too. And I would love for you to be a part in that and playing in that role. So I love you, and I will see you next Monday. Thank you guys so much for listening to today's episode. If you want to find out more, you can follow me on Instagram at Empowered with Deanna and my personal page, Fit Deanna Lolita. You can also visit me on my website, which is deannamerlinofit.com. Make sure that whatever platform you guys are listening on, please rate and subscribe. And this means so much to me. It's going to help get me out there to help so many other people. I'm so grateful that you're here with me on this journey of wellness and self-empowerment. I cannot promise that it will always be easy, but I do know that it will always be worth it. Stick with me, and together, let's start living as the version of us that we were meant to be. Because the world is waiting for your gifts, and you deserve to live the life of your wildest dreams and beyond. So friends, let's get empowered.